Hello everyone, welcome to my program. I'm Lei. The inauguration has been all over the news this week. As I was looking at the number of troops that were sent to DC, I asked myself if I had seen anything like it before. Not even in communist China where I grew up. In fact, I have never seen a communist leader hold an inauguration. Communist dictators love ceremonies and power. But why don't they hold a ceremony to show off their power? This got me curious. After some research, I was shocked by my discoveries and found my conclusions hard to believe. The first reason why communist leaders don't hold an inauguration is that they fear public gatherings. They feel threatened in front of a lot of people. Why do they fear their own people? It's because communist dictators are constantly in existential crisis. Whether it's Mao Zedong or Stalin, or the present communist dictators, they feel threatened by their own people. Maybe it's because they have done horrible things. But anyways, in a communist state, participants at public events attended by their leaders must always be vetted. Everyone has to go through a thorough background check. Otherwise, the leaders won't feel safe. Hey, didn't we have 25,000 National Guards all vetted before the inauguration, and 12 guards were removed as a result? Is that mere coincidence, or are we becoming like a communist state now? The second reason communist leaders don't hold an inauguration is that they can't gather crowds like freely elected leaders do, because they didn't win the people's vote on policies or political beliefs. They know they aren't popular. To avoid embarrassment, they just don't hold public events with large numbers of people. And just because they can't gather a crowd, they don't let other people gather a crowd. So large gatherings are banned in communist states. People are too scared to gather there. They show up only when they're told to, only when the government organizes them to go. It's called a staged event. You see, in a communist state, leaders are caught in a predicament. If the crowd is too big, they feel threatened. If the crowd is too small, it's embarrassing. So they avoid public appearances as much as they can. Don't we all know that someone was hiding in his basement for most of 2020? The third reason is that communist leaders are secretive. Unlike heads of state in democratic countries who are proud to show up with their families, allies, and supporters, communist leaders like to hide and manipulate in the dark. Oftentimes, these dictators abuse power, and their families are likely tied to scandals and corruption. Also sound familiar? The last reason is that communists are atheists, and they don't believe in the divine. They actually don't believe in anything other than themselves. Communists don't even believe in communism. If you ask Chinese people whether their leaders believe in communism, they'll tell you it's a joke. So if they don't believe in anything other than themselves, how can they be sworn in? If they don't believe anyone or anything is above them, who do they swear to? Who do they make a vow or an oath to? So, how are communist leaders officially installed then? By rubber stamp election through a power committee, and then by media announcement. I know that sounds familiar too. Take a look at Xi Jinping and North Korea's leader, Kim Jong. Their examples are telling. On November 15, 2012, the current Chinese leader Xi Jinping was quote-unquote elected to the posts of General Secretary of the Communist Party and Chairman of its Central Military Commission by the CCP's 18th Central Committee. He gave a speech on that day, and the press announced he was the new leader. That was it. Let's take a look at the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. to see how he ascended to power. A week after his father died on December 17, 2011, he was publicly declared Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army. 2 days later, the official North Korean newspaper reported that Kim was the supreme leader of the country. There was no swearing ceremony or anything like that. But 2 weeks later, a massive loyalty rally was held by the Korean People's Army in the square in front of Kim's palace to honor the new leader. In addition to thousands of soldiers, the rally was attended by Kim's military and political associates. Communist leaders love military parades. They don't care about public rallies. They love a military parade because it's a show of force and they feel safe in the presence of military personnel. Well, didn't we just see that in DC? Our new leader had even more soldiers than Kim Jong-un. Joe Biden had 25,000 National Guards, probably many more times than Kim's troops. And just like Kim Jong-un, he had no public in attendance, but only his associates and circle of friends. Now think about it. If we continue on this path, won't we be a communist state? It's scary and hard to believe. My family came to this country to run away from communism. There's no other country in the world like America. So I'm very concerned when I see communist policies and practices usurping America. If we go down this path, eventually there will be no more presidential inaugurations because communist leaders don't hold inaugurations. So my friends, consider this. The inauguration you just saw might possibly be the last one. Be well, stay safe. Please like and share this video. Till next time, good night.